welcome to Your Manchester, here every week.
Yes, indeed. Nerves are a-bubbling.
Oh, well, don't be nervous. We have got an extremely packed show lined up for you all.
Well, that's always reassuring. Do you like the set?
It's very, very nice. I'm impressed.
Hey, Dad got it from Argos. It was supposed to be a sofa.
Kind of right.
Yes.
So what have we got coming up? We've got loads of special guests dropping in to our Your Manchester studios.
Indeed we have.
Yeah, first up, we have got Loz Kay, and he's sure to be causing a drama or two as he explains why the recent boom in building work in Manchester is simply not affordable to people.
Indeed. And also our special guest today, many of you know her similar as Gemma from Corrie. She's here today.
Along with a fake tan, although actually I've got to say Dolly Rose Campbell, who plays Gemma, looking absolutely fantastic.
She's looking good, isn't she?
Absolutely.
She's looking good. So we've got all this, plus all the news from Colin about the rugby and how it's going from strength to strength in one part of Manchester. And of course, we've got the news from our Lydia.
We have got the news from our Lydia, but it's not news as you are used to it. We're going to be telling you some of the quirky stories from around our great city.
Yes, a little bit of something different for you here in your Manchester.
Yes, it really is one packed show. So stick around for 35 minutes and we're going to tell you all what's happening in Manchester.
What's going on today?
Absolutely loads, but first up, let's get the latest news from Lydia.
Good evening and welcome to Your Manchester's weekly news roundup with me, Lydia Burns-Myrollo. In the news today, the Bamboo Club was opened by John and Clive Bealey 58 years ago, with the elder brother John working on the door while younger sibling Clive got busy behind the bar. It's one of the longest running nightclubs in the country and has become part of Stockport heritage. The Bamboo, or The Boo, has seen revellers partying since opening in 1961, but the real disco years were in the 70s, 80s and 90s, when generations of clubbers crammed into the venue. The siblings opened the bar up as a backup to their father James's successful catering business. Now John's son Simon has taken over the reins and his son Christopher is also on the books learning all aspects of the trade as the third generation of Bealeys getting busy at the Bamboo. And the enduring success of the venue is attributed to location, location, location by Simon, who lives near the club in Hazel Grove. Simply put, there is no other club for miles and miles, says Simon. In student news, could you be owed money by the Student Loans Company? Martin Lewis, famous money expert, has discovered a loophole which could lead you to receiving a refund from the SLC. It all depends on when you started repaying. The rules of student loan repayment state that deductions start from the April after graduation. Unfortunately, for many students, employers were unaware of the graduation dates or processed the information incorrectly, meaning that the Student Loans Company can receive up to a whole year of extra payments. Now you can find out if you've had incorrect deductions by checking your payslips, or if you don't have the payslip, just get in touch with the Student Loans Company. Finally this week, Oasis has knocked Queen off the top spot in a Radio X Top 100 Songs chart. The Oasis song Live Forever was voted the greatest British song by Radio X listeners. The band knocked Queen's Bohemian Rhapsody off the top spot in the radio station's Best of British Top 100 chart, which is now in its third year. The third single from their 1994 debut, Definitely Maybe, was their first top 10 hit and remains a firm favourite in Liam Gallagher's live sets, including his One Love Manchester duet with Chris Martin. In typical lyrical style, Noel Gallagher said of the win, and I won't try and do his accent, although I probably could, some people try to be bigger or better with their contemporaries or their predecessors. Me, I'm just trying to be better than myself. This has been the news in your Manchester.
Now then, I'm going to talk about something I know nothing about.
Okay, that's not obviously vodka, is it? Because you've got an Olympic sport in that.
Well, I know I have, but today I'm drinking tea.
Oh, is that what it is?
It's tea, and do you like the mugs?
I love the mugs.
Sue Scott designed these.
Oh,
look
fantastic.
At the artwork on them and
It's
everything.
just picking out some great pieces of our city. You know, you've got like, well, what used to be the GMX there, you've got the Central Library,
Did you just call it the GMX?
Yeah.
I always call it the GMX. I don't know why, but it's up to you. I just like pulling you up on that one. It sounds good. So we've got the BMX, as you're going to call it, and we've got a few other lovely buildings.
We've got
as well.
the lovely Manchester Bee as well, which is obviously so iconic now in Manchester. And talking of all things Manchester, what about this? Absolute beauty. It's a great piece of artwork.
It's stunning, isn't
by
it?
Natalie Phoenix, and it's just fantastic that we've got this in the studio.
It's very nice of them to give us these things, isn't it?
Yeah, so we've got
like it.
wonderful artists and designers, and then we've got our Colin.
Colin, or as I call him, Titters.
Oh.
Yeah.
Yes. Now, you're here to talk about something very, very special, aren't you? You're here to talk about sport.
I am, yes.
I'm at a loss.
Well, that until last week,
Yes.
that was two of us. But I've done a little bit of research.
Yes.
But really, the big story of the week
Yes.
is the opening of the Commonwealth Games.
No.
Oh, fantastic.
Oh.
Now, the opening ceremony happened yesterday, didn't it? And that was all happening down under in the Gold Coast.
It was the Gold Coast Games, and it's a brilliant one because this is 4,500 athletes from 71 nations and territories, and they're going for 275 golds.
Ooh.
But this time it's an all-inclusive one, in so much as there are as many many events for girls as there are for the lads.
Well,
It's a
about
balance.
time,
About
absolutely.
time, yeah.
And it's the biggest multi-sport event for athletes with disabilities this year.
Fantastic, really.
So they've really sort of like
And
pushing
what
that
are our chances then? Have we got a good stab at coming home with some of these medals?
I think we have. I mean, we've got the swimmers.
Fantastic.
The disadvantage we do have is that we don't go as GB and Northern Ireland like we're in the Olympics, where all there's are 4 different nations.
Oh.
But I'd say sort of like from GB,
Yeah.
with some good chances, obviously.
Yeah, I do like the Commonwealth Games, and obviously we had it here in Manchester a few years
I was
back.
lucky enough to be at the opening ceremony for that.
Oh wow, that must have been amazing.
Absolute treat. I was at the open end because they only done 3/4 of the stadium at that point, because they had to then dig it all out to put the football
Yes.
pitch in and etc. And we all had to sit there in our rain macs as if it was raining for the lighting effect. No, they did a light show at the end, and it was just sort of like absolutely beautiful evening, real treat.
The openings are always wonderful, aren't they?
yeah.
The opening and closing ceremonies are always something to watch.
Well, Colin, we did think about flying you to Australia, but
However,
never realised
yeah.
how much it was going to cost, and so you're here with us tonight. But aren't you glad?
I am, really am, yes. You know, it's like today's sports. I mean, we've got from badminton down to weightlifting, hell of a lot of events,
Yeah.
on the first sort of like proper days.
I could do the weightlifting.
But one specially for you, because
What's that?
Well, the athletics doesn't start while Saturday. There's a week of athletics.
Right.
But the one that you're all looking forward to.
Yes.
The diving starts
Oh.
next Wednesday.
Thomas Daly.
Thomas
Very
Daly.
nice.
I know, it's coming out all unnecessary now, isn't it?
I'm going to think about it. I don't know what it is.
Now, we haven't just asked you to look at the Commonwealth Games, which
No.
obviously is going to be dominating the news, but you've also been looking at the rugby for us, haven't you?
I have, yeah. Well, to start off with, it's a game that was allegedly, it was a Salford lad who was responsible for the game. It's a chap called William Webb Ellis, originally from Salford,
Yeah.
and when he was at the rugby school, they were having a game of football. He picked up the ball and ran, and that's where they got the rugby-style game coming from.
Oh,
So
fantastic!
it's
I
got
never knew
nothing to do
that.
with the place rugby then?
Well, it's named after the school rugby.
Is that where it was?
That he
Right.
was, for somehow, he got out of Salford.
He got to Salford and managed to get
got himself to rugby school and what have you. And that was back in 1823.
Wow.
And I mean, it used to be known as a game for men with odd-shaped balls, but now it's a different. Yeah.
We'll say no more about that one.
Well, yeah. Sorry.
So that was William Webb Ellis, wasn't it?
Yeah, but that was back in the day. But now we come up to date and what have you. And sort of like well, it's because of somewhere I know. Once again.
Yeah.
19 years ago, when my son was nearly 10, he said, "Dad, can you take me down to Eccles Rugby Club on Sunday?" I said, "Why?" He says, "Well, I want to play rugby." I said, "But why? I mean, why would anyone want to play rugby?" Well, we're now 19 years further on. He's gone about his business and I'm still there, and it's almost my second home.
Oh.
I do think it is got like a family feel to it. You know, a
It's
lot of families go and
absolutely-
watch the rugby and stuff.
No,
and
but
a
it's
really
the
nice
involvement.
atmosphere.
It's a club that is very much, it believes in its amateur status. So the only people who are paid are bar staff. Everybody from they run. Besides running 2 fellas teams, they've got 2 ladies teams. The ladies team are currently the highest ranked Manchester ladies team in the country. So, and I mean, they started about 15 years ago with nothing.
Wow.
Within the minis and the juniors, so like for the kids, from under 7s up to under 16s.
So you've got teams for everybody there.
Everybody. And it's up to about under 12s, it's mixed teams. Then from 13s to 16s, the girls have to play separately.
Right.
But they're now running 3 separate girls teams, the under 18s, under 15s, under 13s.
Gosh.
And
I can tell you've never played rugby. Do you know why?
go on.
You've got perfect ears.
I've only played social rugby, which was so much fun.
You know what I mean, though, don't you?
I know exactly what you mean.
They have
I
those
haven't got the
cauliflowers.
cauliflowers. And ears this size, there's no place to hide them really, is there? You know what I mean? It's, got to accept that.
It's a sign of intellect, we'll just say that.
Right. What, being clever enough not to get cauliflower ears?
Oh, brilliant.
But it's one of those places. Get there, get down there. I just advise anybody who's got young kids to go along and give it a try. I mean, the people at Eccles Rugby Club, if you're a helper, whether you're feeding the kids or whether you're coaching the kids, you're all DBS checked, so the child protection's all in place for the kids. And they can never have enough people volunteering. On a Sunday, there's about 200 kids at 11 o'clock. And then there's the ladies' game in the afternoon. Yeah. And it's just a hive of activity, an absolute buzz.
Well, you've convinced us. So what we want you to do is come back next week and tell us about some other sport.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, right. Indoor trampolining.
Indoor trampolining?
Yeah, well, I don't know. Can you do it outdoor?
Well, you can.
I was going to say netball, Colin, but if you want to do trampolining, then that's fine.
It's a challenge. Yeah,
and more about the Commonwealth as well.
Yeah, a little bit more about the Commonwealth. Yeah.
Whatever
Absolutely.
you've got, bring to us. We're excited to see it.
Lovely to chat to you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much indeed.
Titters, everybody. Titters. Loz Kay is an active Manchester campaigner. He's also musical director of Manchester Lesbian and Gay Chorus.
With this, he's won multiple awards for the campaign against hate crime, Safe to Sing.
He is a commentator on national and international politics, technology and security.
Yes, and within Manchester, he's got a strong and passionate voice, speaking for the city on fair regeneration, housing and also the environment.
This year, he spearheaded the opposition to council plans that risk losing the spirit of the city's iconic canal street.
And with the recent boom in development, he says none of the 14,667 housing units passed by the council are affordable.
With this in mind, let's meet Loz Kay.
Welcome.
Hello there.
How are you?
Oh, good to be down here on the sofa. Oh, well, in the burgundy chair anyway.
In a burgundy chair?
You kind of match. What's going on? Yeah, fantastic.
So, 16, how many? 14,000 and odd?
Yeah, well, this is one of the big issues in Manchester at the moment. It's also, I've been saying, it's exciting that the city's changing because Manchester's always been vibrant, changing. That's great. The trouble is, who's it changing for? And there's also a lot of the issues right now is that there's not enough affordable housing, particularly at the centre of the city. That's basically where the council expects like the third of the growth is going to be in this little area, just right on the city heart. But the trouble is that it's been given over to developers and international investors, but it's also who's going to afford to live there? Even people on average city centre household incomes aren't actually going to be able to live there. So it's a bit of a question like, okay, where you can see all these massive towers going up, but also who's going to be in them? This is kind of one of the things that I'm asking.
Yeah, it never used to be that way because, I mean, I lived in London for a while and everyone used to say, oh, up north, you know, it's cheaper housing, you can get on the property ladder. But it just seems like they're just making that inaccessible now, like you mentioned.
Yeah, well, this is the thing is also that there is affordable housing in Manchester, but it's also that the entire market's being skewed now by what's happening in the centre. A lot of people have been saying, yeah, we'll move to Manchester because it's got a great lifestyle, but it's a question of where we're going with this. The issue is that essentially the council's abandoned its affordable housing targets. For new developments, it's supposed to be 20% is given over for affordable housing. That's actually not happening. So it's also, in fact, thousands. So we've seen thousands of units being built, but we're not actually getting the units that we need.
So who's building them for then?
Well, this is the good question. Particularly it's about investment. So we're seeing kind of banks, with German banks coming in. It's also overseas investors from China and from UAE. Yeah, sure. It's not about saying that also we just keep people out, but it's also a question about what we build, what's sustainable. It's not sustainable, and it's also going to spread out. We can see how this is going into Ancoats, just over the other side of Great Ancoats Street. It's going to start affecting everywhere. So the question is where's the jobs going to be that's going to sustain that? And also we're seeing that we're losing green space, and also it's starting to feel like there's a real pressure, and that we're kind of losing the character. I think a lot of people say like Manchester's got this real heart and soul energy about it. But also, I know lots of people in the Northern Quarter, for example, are saying, yeah, it doesn't feel like it used to, and also we're losing like characteristic bars, the sort of independent retailers.
Well, even the look of the new buildings that have been proposed, I don't think they look particularly lovely, do they?
Well, I'm nothing against modern architecture, but it's also a lot of more of the same. I think a lot of people who are seeing those kind of big towers, the Renneker towers, that you can see also if you look down Deansgate, and I think a lot of people have been really surprised by what's sprouting up. But it's also further down the line that there's actually a whole bunch of new towers that also kind of Beetham Tower, it's like kind of Angry Beetham, which has all been there by itself. It's actually going to kind of get a twin. Of course, the city shouldn't stay the same, but I think a lot of people feel like they've been left out of the decisions that have been happening around them. That's the thing that I've been trying to highlight. It's also we should get a say, and that we should also have a fair say for residents and in terms of what's going to be the future for our city.
Yeah, and I know that's not just the only thing that's bothering you, Loz. Obviously, you know, the other great heart of our city is Manchester's gay village, and there are going to be some redevelopments planned for that, and that again is some kind of change which you're opposing. Tell us a bit about it.
It's also one of the great things about Manchester is its neighbourhoods, and it's like people-based. Also, the gay village is a great example of that. It's about how we, as an LGBT community, have made something happen in the city. Now, essentially, there was a plan put out from the council right at the beginning of this year for consultation, and sort of bear with this. It's about a regeneration framework. What that really means is also it's a plan of what's going to happen in a certain area. So the first thing I really objected to was only for part of the gay village, so also like around Portland Street. But it includes parts like so it includes Thompson's Arms, also where Albert Kennedy died, which is a really important part of our history. Yeah. But essentially, it's a really bland plan. But the thing that I really objected to was that, essentially, to me, it writes us out of our area. There was just one mention of lesbian, gay, bi, transgender in the whole document. There's loads about HS2, the Northern Powerhouse. There's 54 mentions of car park, for heaven's sake. Yeah, I know it's a planning document, but come on. The point about these frameworks is that it says why you build what you build. Yeah. So it's not unusual to talk about like the context. So here it will be to me, it's what we should have been putting in is also what the LGBT community provides, like what we've done socially. what we do for nightlife, what also the role that Pride plays, both economically and also for charity, of course, and in the cultural life. So essentially, what did we kicked off a petition and also said, drop this plan. Okay, fine. Just admit that you stuffed this one up. And I don't think that was too unreasonable because actually the document wasn't that great. But however, it's also it caused a bit of a kerfuffle.
Were they following all the right guidelines and everything, or was there some stuff done secretly?
Well, the thing that was also not great about it is also they put out the first document. They put out the wrong one. Because it was also, I looked at it and there's a whole bunch of stuff that was formatted wrong. It's like, it was also, that's not the worst sin in the world, but it's a little bit like, actually you treat the community with respect. But also, the first sentence got one of the street names wrong, and it's also, you don't know what you're doing. Just be honest and hold your hand up.
Yeah.
Is what I think you should do when that stuff like that happens.
What do you think the likelihood is that we are going to see some changes made to that before they go through? Have we got a chance?
I think there's actually a good chance now because I think it was really clear that the community were concerned, and to be fair to the council, that there is listening going on. That it's just a framework, so it's not like the same as planning application, but it's important as to what's going to happen in the future. I think quite likely we'll see the same thing just kind of tinkered with a bit, but actually it's what happens next, and it's also about saying, I think there's been a realisation that the community needs to be brought on board, and it's not just a question of buildings, it's about people. That's what makes our place, that's what makes Manchester to me, is people, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's the buildings, isn't it?
I was going to say, you're so passionate about Manchester. What do you love about the city? But maybe you've just answered it.
Yeah, it's actually what I love is like you get two people in a space and you get three opinions. That's what I like, and it's also people aren't backward in coming forward. That's what I like.
Listen, thanks very much for your time, Los, and good luck.
Cheers.
Thank you. Who's this lady?
Well, that's right. Millions have seen this lady, and indeed our soap gossip guru. So please welcome them both.
Hello, I'm Hayley. And Belinda usually calls me her favourite nutter, but that's a bit rude, really, because I'm as sane as she is.
Nobody's as sane as that flower. Eh?
So tonight,
yes.
Look who I've got. I've got my very good friend, Dolly Rose Campbell, with me, and she is who? Gemma in Coronation Street.
Yep.
Gemma. Does Gemma have a surname in Coronation?
Gemma Winter.
Gemma Winter.
Yeah.
Fantastic. See, I'm trying to get used to you because I'm used to you seeing you with fake tan and behind a kebab shop. And
yes.
I've got more fake tan on than you tonight.
No fake tan in real life.
Do you know, was that like a purpose thing to do?
Yeah, it's a deliberate thing as part of the character that I chose to do.
Oh.
Yeah.
So what's actually going on for Gemma then?
Well, you'll have to watch and find out. She's just had a bit of a hoo-ha going on with Tyrone, and she's fallen out with Chesney. So you've got to keep watching, really, to see where it goes next.
Don't you think it'd be better if her and Chesney got together? Well, if you had a choice then, Tyrone or Chesney, who would you pick?
Oh, I couldn't choose. They're both lovely.
Oh.
But Corrie won actually Best Soap, didn't it, at the RTS? The Royal
It did,
Television Society
yeah, it was a
Awards.
really good night,
fantastic.
yeah. I think the show was really, really good and enjoyable at the moment for the audience. They all seem to be really enjoying the storylines, and it's great, yeah. It's really good to be a part of.
And this one won two Best Comedy Awards.
Oh, fantastic.
Yeah, I did, yeah.
Because I was going to say, did you ever dream that you would be in the soap for this long when you did your audition many years ago?
No, my audition was only for 6 episodes. That was all I was supposed to be in.
Wow.
And then they kept bringing me back, and I'm just really lucky, really, that the writers keep writing great stuff for me, and that I'm still enjoying myself there.
And how long have you been in there for now then?
3.5 years. It will be 4 years in October.
Wow.
I can't believe it, can you?
So it's gone really fast, really fast.
Because you came in as a bit of a rapscallion, really, didn't you?
Just a bit.
Nobody
yeah.
was your biggest fan, were they?
No, I wasn't
And then all
very
of a sudden
popular
you took
at
a
all.
corner, and that was it.
Yeah.
Everybody sort of fell in love with you, didn't they?
Yeah, she got together with like good friends and being looked after by Rita, and that's where she kind of pulled her life back together.
And what's it like working with Rita?
Oh, it's fabulous. You
Is she
know, she's a
nice?
national treasure.
She is a national treasure.
Somebody told me that on one of your first days, or was it the first few scenes, you saw her in a shop outside of the studio and said, I'm going to be working on Coronation Street, didn't you?
That's a variation on the actual story, but I did meet her before working with her. And
you two know each other as well, don't you?
Yeah, because you might recognise Hayley from Coronation Street as well.
We actually know each other just from the acting industry, don't
Well,
we?
yeah.
We go out on nights out all the time.
Oh.
They're good nights out, aren't they?
We can't talk about it. We perform
Yeah.
Watershed.
Oh, well, all right, I see. Oh, I see.
Ooh,
I
get into
see.
trouble. So, come on, it's been a really busy week, hasn't it, on the cobbles? Because
Yeah.
feeling his secret's out as well.
Yes.
And he
Yeah.
was sewing his leg, weren't he, last night?
Oh,
So in his legs?
Yeah.
After falling off a cliff?
In fact, well, yeah,
Never
Cliff,
mind it, he had a spare
Lighthouse.
change of clothes.
I know.
Magic of Weatherfield.
Which is even more shocking.
Everyone were like that.
Eileen's not been home yet and he's got a change of clothes.
I know.
Well, he's Pat Phelan. He's got all the tricks up his sleeves, hasn't he?
Probably had them in the water already, didn't he? Yes.
So,
Got it
come
all
on,
planned.
This is some more gossip. What's Gemma going to be up to next? Come on.
Well, you'll see Gemma kind of go off screen a bit for a little bit because I had a little holiday in real life, which was very nice. I went to France. But when she comes back, she's got some really fun comedy caper storyline with a good friend of hers. So,
and that's what we like about
be
Coronation Street, don't we? Because there's a lot of soaps, but I think Coronation Street really has the edge with a comedy and characters like yourself that people really take to the hearts.
Yeah, it's great fun. It is really, really good fun.
And I'm really excited to hear, you know, Conman Lewis is back, you know, Nigel Havers is back.
Is he coming back?
He's back. He's already started filming, hasn't he?
Yeah, he
That's
has
it.
started
More
filming.
comedy.
Yeah,
You know
so
what, 6 weeks in advance is it?
6 weeks. Yeah,
Yeah.
about 6 weeks. Yeah.
So you already know what's going on with him then?
I know a fair bit.
And you're
I
not
don't know
allowed to say
everything.
anything, are you not?
No, I never tell anyone.
We should tie her down in the studio and say she can't escape until you tell us all.
Yeah, I didn't tell you that. Obviously, you're one of my best mates, but that's what we're going to do, sorry.
Oh, well, you are lovely, so I'll probably just have a great time.
Yeah, we probably would, actually. Anyway, honestly, thank you so much
No
for
worries
coming
at
in.
all.
Let's go and grab that drink. I hope you brought your tin of red paint with you, because we need to paint that town red,
We
girl.
do.
Yes,
I've
we
got
do.
it.
Oh, thanks so much for joining us, Dolly.
No worries. Thanks
you
for having
very
me.
much. Thank you. Lovely to meet you.
And you.
Thank you.
But you can't wait to see what I've got for you next week.
What have you
can
got next week for us?
Oh, you'll have to wait and see.
Oh, now I'm really very excited.
Bet you are.
We built this city. We built this city on sausage rolls. Beer, Sarita. Even the Grim Reaper didn't mess with her.
Not lips.
Where do you want me to kiss you then? I'm always leaving stuff behind. And normally it's like my phone or my pants. Weekends are like... It's a flaming liberty! Oh, my Prince Henry! You found me! Clear off before you get another slap. No one makes me laugh like you ginger twit.
Well, that's about all we have time for this week. Make sure you tell everyone about the show.
Fantastic. And next week it's going to be even better. We've got Dan Westwood talking all about the latest gadgets for you.
Indeed, and we've got our mate Jeffrey here as well, makeup artist to the stars. He's going to be talking about guy liner versus eyeliner.
Oh, I could do with a few tips myself on that one.
Well, I could too. Maybe I'll figure out how to do that winged look that everybody wants.
Very nice. Well,
Do you
as well
reckon?
as that, we have got a very special guest as well. We've got the former Lord Mayor of Manchester, Carl Austin Behan. He's going to be right here in this studio.
Of course, it's exciting, isn't it? And if we haven't got enough for you there, we've got more sub-gossip from our lovely Hayley and, well, some other special guests too.
Oh, please tell me.
No, I can't say nothing. I'm sworn to secrecy.
Oh, well, we are going to have to wait for next week. But till then, remember, you can watch again this programme over and over as many times as you want. And as well as here, you can get it on Canal Street online.
That's right. Well, thanks very much, everybody, for joining us. You've been absolutely lovely. Have you had fun?
I've had lots and lots of fun, but could do with a bit of drink now.
I could do one too. Make sure you tell everybody all about your Manchester.
Your Manchester. Goodbye for now.
Ta-ra, flowers.